Hello, boys and girls. It's Miss Adams. I am here in front of, or the outside of Six Flags over Texas to read to you Chapter 4 of Horrible Harry and the Drop of Doom by Suzy Kline. Chapter 4's title is Mountainside Park. I thought it was fitting to be here in front of an amusement park when we're reading about an amusement park. Harry and his friends Suzy and Dexter and Sydney and Doug are here at Mountainside Park. So here we go, Chapter 4. Bee-bop dee-boo, bee-bop dee-boo, shoogie boogie boogie shoogie bee-bop dee-boo, Dexter sang as we walked down Main Street in Mountainside Park. Look at the car parked over there, I said. It's a 1955 Buick. Man, I love the fins in the back. Neato, huh, Harry? Listen to Elvis, Dexter said, pointing to a speaker next to a street light. He's singing Jailhouse Rock. Mrs. Park carried her picnic basket and cooler over to a shaded table. Time for lunch. We eat now. They're eating lunch at Mountainside Park. Everyone watched Sung Lee's mother as she spread out a beautiful tablecloth and paper plates. We have cold chicken, egg sandwich, potato salad, and 3 Korean dish. Bulgogi, that is, beef strip, Colby short rib, and kimchi, cabbage and vegetable. Sydney grabbed a chicken leg. Good grub. While Mrs. Park poured everyone iced tea, I tried the kimchi. This is delicious, I said. There are peppers and cucumbers in it. It is traditional Korean dish, Sung Lee said, reaching for the soy sauce. Ida and Mary nodded. We had some before at your house. It's our favorite. Sung Lee served some kimchi to Harry, but he just picked at it. He wasn't very hungry. I buy everyone ice cream later for dessert, Mrs. Park said. The first ride we went on was Kasploosh. It was in a fake mountain with canals going up and down and around. The last part of the ride was a 50-foot waterfall. How long is the wait? Sydney groaned. I'm sorry. How long is the wait? Sydney groaned. Then he looked at Harry. I can't wait to go on the Drop of Doom. 20 minutes, Mrs. Park said. Maybe Dexter sing us Elvis time. Sure, Dexter said as he pretended to strum a guitar and sing. Rock and roll, air guitar. Sung Lee took Harry's hands and started to rock and roll right there in line. It was a good distraction. Harry always loved to dance. Mary and Ida danced too. When Sydney asked me to dance, I said, forget it. Finally, we got to the top of the fake mountain. There's them dancing in line before they got onto Kasploosh Mountain. And now they're on it. The attendant helped 6 of us climb into the wide canoe. A canoe is a big, long boat. Mrs. Park went with Sydney in the canoe behind us. Here we go, I said. This is my favorite ride. We chugged down the river, dipped into a cave, and then went around a mountainside. It was neat seeing all the people walk around below. When we came to the waterfall, I put my hands up. Here come the falls! Harry put his hands up, so did Sung Lee. Whee! Our canoe plunged down the waterfall. Water sprayed in our face. Psh! Sydney screamed. Mary closed her eyes as her braids flew in the air. Ah! Sung Lee, Harry, and I called out, Yee-haw! Kaploosh! Looks like they're having fun on that Kaploosh waterfall ride. That was so much fun, I said when we finally hit the bottom of the river and coasted to the gate. I'm not going on that again, Mary said. I got all wet. Party pooper, Sydney said. You should talk, Mary scolded. You screamed louder than anyone else, Sydney LeFleur. Harry made a wide smile. He was gaining courage. I love Kaploosh, he said. You love the rides at Mountainside, Harry, I said. Then he glanced over at the haunted hotel. Let's do the haunted house next, he said. And that's the end of chapter 4. They're about to do the haunted house. So boys and girls, I want to say, when the story says that Henry was gaining courage, courage means, it doesn't mean that you don't have any fears, but it means that you're willing to do something despite your fear, even though you're afraid. And so sometimes our fear could be keeping us from doing something that might be fun and enjoyable. And then sometimes our fear is telling us that something isn't safe and that we shouldn't do it. So I encourage you to talk to your moms and dads about the difference of when should we listen to our fear and when we shouldn't. Because that's very important. Sometimes our fear can lie to us and keep us from doing something that is good. And sometimes we do need to listen to our fear. Do you think Harry should listen to his fear? He's afraid to ride the drop of doom because of his fears elevators. Remember we learned when he was 4? So is this a good fear, or is this a fear that he should overcome? Talk about that with your parents. And I'll see you next time for chapter 5 as the kids, Harry and his friends, go in the haunted house. Ooh. Bye friends. Be safe out there.